amazing because they do their job in just this effortless way that you think it's easy. They make it look easy, but it really isn't. And so many times, they'll lose power on the prompter and they're just advocating and they're just talking. And I think that's one of the things that you learn. Some of you might know, what is his name? Chris Burrows. He recently passed away, but he told me, he's like, if you're going to be a good reporter in the field, think of it as QVC. Talk about it in the most mundane way possible, but people at home will connect to it. And I think that's, you learn these little tricks along the way, so we're very lucky to work in LA where there are people that just make it look effortless.
And Araksya, going back to your point about the support system, I think being Armenian, you already have a very strong support system. I remember going to my parents after I graduated USC, and I was like, I'm gonna take a job as a page, it's gonna pay $9 an hour. And you don't know if you're going to go any further, and but it always, and I think that this is probably true, I'm hoping with all of our parents, is you can take that kind of risk.
Yes, I think that support is incredibly important. My family did not quite understand what it is that I was doing when I moved away, and I think they were, not that they were not supportive, they were just kind of confused. I was going into the unknown, and financially, if they weren't helping me, I don't think I would have survived. Granted, in Idaho Falls, money goes farther. I had one of the nicest apartments was $460 a month. But that being said, I was making $18,000 a year, and I was working 8 jobs. But my husband, who's not here today because he's at home putting one of our children to sleep, hopefully, he also, through this whole process, has been with me and traveled back and forth. We've been together for 19 years. So he also was very supportive, not just, it's not just about financially, but emotionally and encouraging. So when my family was confused as to what it is I was doing, he was always there pushing me along and saying, it's gonna pay off. When I had job interviews in New York, he was the one booking flights and hotel rooms and arranging my schedule so I would go to the job interviews. He's the one who's saying, take that extra shift. To this day, comes to every single event that I do. So having support system is the key if you want to succeed in this business, because it can be lonely at times. And yes, I've had moments where I've wanted to get a flat tire and not finish my assignment.
I think we've all been there.
I got a flat tire right now.
Just stop and go home.
And going off of what Ella said, all of you are also a huge support system. I think that the Armenian community as a whole, when we see one of our own doing some really good work, we're excited. We feel like it's ours. I feel like their success is ours.
And so I was like, wait, who's this Armenian girl? And I told everyone at work, I'm like, there's this Armenian girl on TMZ. But I think that's the beauty of the Armenian community and Armenians as well. I think because of what we've gone through in history and in our lives, just scattered all around the world. You know the saying, you will find an Armenian anywhere in the world you go. And that is so true, because we find each other and we embrace one another and we try to lift each other up. At least that's the hope. And we take joy in each other's successes. And I think that's very important as a community, and for us also to succeed, and for us to further drive our cause forward. Everyone is always talking about, getting recognition for the genocide. Well, you do that by coming together, by joining forces. Going back to what happened in Armenia with the Velvet Revolution, I think that was an exciting time for many people, because it was a moment in time where Armenians all around the world came together, and we became one. And you could just feel that energy, being all the way in Los Angeles, I remember just feeling this energy. I felt this pull. I wanted to get on a plane. I wanted to go and to be a part of it all. It's very nice and lovely. And although you're in an industry where it's, competitive and, ugliness can come out, because that's just the way this business is, it's very nice to know that, we have a human aspect. And I think our cause and being Armenian, our connection comes before all of those things. Personally, that's mine.
Yeah. Araksya was one
one of the last people that actually, when I reached out to her, she called me. She didn't know who I was, but she called me, and this is our first time meeting in person, so thank you for hosting this. But she encouraged me and said, no, you gotta do it. You gotta get out of your comfort zone. You gotta move out of your home and do this. And I know it's such a competitive field, so I thank you for uplifting the rest of us in the community who want to pursue these dreams.
Headlines. You literally will show up to a story, show up to a breaking news situation, and they say you're on air in 5 minutes. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what's going on. You don't know anything. I mean, and you have to educate people on what's happening, and at the same time, you have to also point your photographer kind of in the right direction. Thankfully, we work with very seasoned photographers in LA who know exactly what they're doing. But, you know, it's when it's a time crunch that I think the bad personalities come out and the B word can come out in certain people. So I think you just have to take a breath and like you said, just kind of stroke people's egos just to get it done. Because at the end of the day, you have to be a professional.
That's true. I mean, I work for a late night talk show host, and every show he's ever done has been the best show he's ever done. And I have to make sure that I say that every show's the best. That was the best show you ever did.
The best one was when you took it to Armenia.
That's my favorite.
Is to build an app called the Armenian Report in Armenia. So I want to create jobs in Armenia. I want the app to be built in Armenia, and I want us to have reporters on the field in Yerevan, in Artsakh, in New York, so we can all associate with the face and that person with that area. So when you see Adam and Yerevan, you're like, where is Adam now? What's happening? Streets of Artsakh, there's a lot of video coming in from Yerevan, but there's very little video coming from Artsakh. I want to see Artsakh other than the mommy, the grandma and the grandpa. I want to see the children. I want to see the roads, the schools, all of it. And there's very little. And the kids there, the young people there, they're so smart. They speak English. They speak multiple languages. It's not just English. So this is doable. We can have our own reporters, young people on site, literally directly speaking to all of the young community via app. So that's my goal. I'm working on it.
Visionary. Don't let it be a competition. It's not about being first. It's about being right. Yeah.
It's I was just thinking about something if your executive producer told you to just kidnap someone, just to make the story true. Like, go snatch your kid, let's make this true.
This has been really tough for me because I came from a news organization, TMZ, that breaks stories first, right? Like, we love the headlines, breaking exclusive. What is that? Breaking exclusive. So I can work really fast to confirm, and that's one of the biggest assets that I learned from working at TMZ was confirming stories. But it's really hard for me to confirm stories from Los Angeles that's happening in Armenia. So one of the things that I do that it's been really tough is if there's no video to prove it, I'm not touching it. And a lot of times people message me and say, did you see this story? Did you hear about this story? I don't have video proof. And that's kind of the model that I'm following because people will question you. And if there's a video, I just translate it, you interpret it however you want to interpret it. And it's been working really well. That people really appreciate that. And sometimes they want me to, add the little commentary here and there, and I try to do it very seldomly now. But when you show people just video, translate, they really truly appreciate it.
Well, the media speaks for itself.
Yes, like you don't need the dog. Like people are not stupid.
Of course, it's a visual medium on social media and on television as well, but I think sometimes, and this was a very sticky story that some of you might remember, sometimes when you don't have the full video and you only have 15 seconds of it, then that'll hurt you. This wasn't my story, it was another reporter's, but some of you might remember it was an Armenian guy at the beach who got hit by the lifeguard's red thing. Okay. So in the beginning, they made it seem like he was like the punk that, went to the lifeguard and was giving him a hard time and he deserved to be hit. But then the continuation of the video came out and we had to actually give an apology because it was not his fault. It was the lifeguard's fault because he was the one, bullying him. So I think you have to be very careful nowadays where everybody has a cell phone, and just because we can document things, it doesn't mean it's a trusted source. This person can be altering a video, only sharing a certain perspective of the video. I can shoot something from this perspective and it'll show one side of the story. There's always another side, so you have to be careful. And I think with social media nowadays, we can put something out and it sparks a huge frenzy and everyone thinks they know a story. But let trusted sources also confirm certain things. Just because we all have cell phones and can document something does not mean everybody's a journalist, everybody needs to be listened to. Take the time and listen to the sources that you trust and the organizations that you trust.
I think if I can touch on this, I think it highlights the power of media, and we have so much power because we're picking and choosing. We are editing a story, and we pick and choose what part of the interview we're showcasing. We're picking and choosing what part of the video we're showing, because we don't have all day to put all this content on air. The average reporter package is like 115, 130. Okay, that's not a lot, and you might do an interview for 15 minutes. So you have so much power in what you do, so you have to take that seriously and be very responsible in how you display whatever it is you're showcasing.
Be kind is respect. From the moment I was born, I was taught hadgam, right? Respect. And respect is equivalent of kindness, in my opinion. And I went through my career respecting everyone, including myself. And I stand my ground, and I'm so proud that I did stand my ground as far as respect goes. And I tell everyone this: don't look back. Did you post that? You posted that. Don't look back and stand your ground. And you are going to come across people who are going to be jerks to you just because you're Armenian, and they're going to make jokes. And I remember being really frustrated about that at 22, 23. I work with comedians, and this one guy, I remember he was doing a skit about when people, like different coworkers, when they die, what he's going to say about that. He's like, Anna, I'm going to say, well, Anna taught me about the Armenian genocide, and now I know where the Armenia is on the map, and things like this that would piss me off. And I look back and I'm like, whatever. Now Rick knows where Armenia is on the map. So these are things that really frustrated me when I was young, but now I just say, just stand your ground and seek your community. And this is the community on top of your family, and everyone has your back.
I'm going to pretty much echo everything that's been said, but if you're determined to do this, don't give up, go for it. Do not look for the easy way out in any field. This isn't just in this field. If you look for the easy way out, I often find that it takes you longer to get to where you're going. So don't look for the shortcuts, just focus on yourself and work really hard. Also, it's really important to be genuine and authentic. I think, once again, I 100% believe that the camera doesn't lie, and who you are comes through. So you have to be true to yourself and not jeopardize and compromise who you are for others. In this business, you might feel like you need to be something you aren't because everyone else around you is that way. But don't forget who you are, where you come from. Don't forget how you were raised. And for me, it's very important to not forget my roots, something that I highlight all the time. And at the end of the day, you have to be the best version of yourself.
As a token